I walked into my house to escape the weirdness of the trees, because I knew I would be mean to them. I was too mad. Roberta wasn't a true identity, it was confusion. But how would they know? I knew I would have yelled at those trees, but they don't know anything. It's not their faults. They're too young. Last time they saw Robert, calling him Robert was called dead naming. Of course they called him Roberta. They didn't know it was going to just confuse him so that he would turn back into a tree. How could they know that taking up a false identity could weaken his real identity? How could they know that taking up a false identity could weaken his real identity? So the tree took Robert over again. Roberta might as well be a tree, because Roberta ignored reality, while Robert knows now maybe ignoring reality is what his superpower is. How did he do it? I wondered. Maybe if he could just ignore that he's a tree. Is that what he did? It just looked like 3 trees on our front lawn as I peeked out of the curtain. I couldn't tell, but I knew they must be talking to each other. The house was still dark. My wife, Barb, she put tape over all the light switches because I would turn them on by mistake. She accused me of not caring about her sister's eyesight. It's not that at all. I know she's there without the lights. I have to feel her psychic presence rather than relying on sight because everything's dark all the time now. She's always lurking. I put the box of flowers onto the table and wondered how much money I could get from this. It seemed crass to think about such a thing, but Robert wanted me to do it. I mean, why not, I guess. I had to explain the whole thing to Patty. I thought she'd be mad and give me a hard time, like she always seems to, but she seemed to be laying off. But that should have been cause for my suspicion. Patty, the Puritan of modernity, but I was diverted. My attention was diverted. An alert from Robert popped into my head. I looked out the window and my 2 new tree friends were full bloom. "Bring a box, quick," Robert said. So I ran out with a big cardboard box. "Mr. Gulliver, this is William." "Hello, William," I said. "Hello, Mr. Gulliver," he said into my mind. "And this is Hayden." "Hello, Hayden." "Hello, Mr. Gulliver," he said into my mind. "Are those your original names?" "Those are our biological names. We decided we want to return to our biological bodies, so we need our biological names." Talking to Robert, we realized what we did to him. We're sorry. I was mad at you two for that, I said. "We know, we felt it," they both said in unison. We waited. There was so much to say and ask. There seemed to be nothing to say. Maybe all 3 of you will be walking soon. Why won't it happen again? Of course it'll happen again. Do you want to tell me how I can contact your parents? I could tell them, if they'll believe me. They gave me their information. Explaining what and where they are is going to be hard without eyes. They both carefully dropped their blooms, aiming for my box, and not one fell onto the grass. When I got inside, Patty was sitting down. I said, Patty, do you know where Barb is?" She didn't respond, or even move. Patty, I moved my hand in front of her eyes, and she did a kissing smooch gesture with her lips. I did it again, and another. The same response every time. Then I beeped her nose. Then she started crying after I beeped her nose. It wasn't really crying though. It was similar. It was like fake crying. It was more anxious, like bad acting of crying. This made her start hyperventilating. And I went to get a paper bag. I'm not sure why, but breathing into a bag is supposed to happen when people hyperventilate. It's supposed to help. But I couldn't find a paper bag, so finally I had one of those white kitchen garbage bags. She didn't need it. She started singing "Imagine How Tasty They Would Be." Then she was stuffing more flowers into her mouth. She stood up and tore all of her clothes off and started scratching herself. Then she noticed me like as if I just appeared and grabbed onto me, hugging and rubbing her body onto my clothes to scratch. That was the last response I ever expected from Patty. "Patty, don't tell me you took the flowers," I screamed at her. But she didn't care. I saw the light of the door open. It was Barb. She was looking at us in puzzlement. It looked like we were getting it on, but Barb could see I was not interested. She grabbed a chair and put it behind Patty's knees, and I pushed Patty down onto it. "Keep on the chair," Barb yelled to me. "Keep her on the chair. Grab some of these bed sheets, and we don't have to wrestle her," she said. So I tied sheets around Patty's lap, strapping her to the chair. And then I put flowers in the garage, big box of flowers. I put it up just away from Patty's sight where she wouldn't know where to find it. I didn't think she'd take that stuff. "She talks about it all the time," Barb said. "Crap," I said. "Crap is right," Barb said. "I was thinking, if Patty somehow escaped and ran away, I'd be free of Patty. Kids are both gone now, and it'll just be Barb and me, just like how we started off, with no Patty." My thoughts were pulled out of luxuriant hope when I received a mind alert from Robert and William and Hayden. I pulled the curtains open and saw the man with the Rorschach face and a few of his friends in front of my lawn, inspecting the 3 trees. Walking out into certain danger, I touched for my knife, but it wasn't there. How? Didn't figure it out quite yet at that point. But Patty managed to get it out of my knife hilt, obviously. Oh no, I thought, Patty's gonna escape. But then I put it into perspective, and the situation in front of me was in much more dire and urgent need of my attention, because due to my daydreaming, I allowed myself to be surrounded at all sides by people with knives. They held them with glee. One of them kept making stabby gestures for laughs. Robert broke into my mind and said, "Since he licked up the blood when he broke my branch, I could feel his mind. I could read the man with the Rorschach face's mind." "What does his mind tell you?" I asked. Robert said, "He intends to kill you. He's not just trying to scare you. You better run." "I can't. They have me surrounded." They all started stabbing with their knives in the air, pointed in my direction. Stab, 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 stab. They laughed. But it was a fakey laugh, kind of a performative laugh. Stab, stab, stab. But they did it in unison. And they all sang that old advertisement, Imagine. You know, that old advertisement, Imagine? They did it doo-wop style. Here's the lyrics. "Just place them in a secret place. You will have a smile upon your face. Taste them, put them in your mouth. Imagine how tasty they will be. Imagine how tasty they will be. Imagine how tasty they will be." Anyway, after nailing the song perfectly, balancing the sense of pathos with the song's stated need to sell me sugar, I swallowed some of the sugar cubes that I was keeping in my shirt pocket. The man with the Rorschach face laughed at me, performatively, without changing the expression of his eyes, projecting a deadness of the soul. He said, "Look into my face. What do you see? Tell me." "I see a butterfly," I said. He spit on me and screamed, "Liar! You see a vision. You see a prophetic vision of your own death." "I see a butterfly," I said again. "Liar!" he screamed and spit again, but this time it landed on my cheek and dripped down my chin. And he said to me, "Everyone I kill sees their own death in the Rorschach test on my face. Look into my face and tell me, what do you see?" What does Nucky see? Will Nucky get out of this dangerous situation alive? Will more trees get hurt? Stay tuned and listen to next installment, Chapter 6, The Raging Waves in Patty's Mind. Check out the links below. I have El Shaddai 2, which is probably the best one to get if you only going to get one, and it's the Trump book. Trump book is really fun. It's you could hate him or you could love him. It's more about perception of reality. It's humor. It's fun. I have fairy tale books and other kinds of books and more books on the way too. Like I have stuff that's ready to be published on the way. Anyway, like and subscribe and buy my books. Links below.